Hi.
Hi, your head's cut off.
My head's chopped off.
It's balanced.
That's the bronzest part of my body.
I know. But they're going to have to look at put your arm up. There you go.
Ooh. See that tan?
Look at that tan.
Wow, looks like a dead sea anemone.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
It's time
To talk
about
our lives.
Sea anemone. Sea anemone.
Anyway, we were just talking. We were talking about how we often, in videos and stuff, say, explain that our fights last, a shorter amount of time than maybe, other people's fights last. Just that they last a short amount of time.
Reporters always say to us, what's the key to the success of your relationship? And we're always we don't let fights last long.
Yeah.
And they're always what do you mean? And we're always
we never have an example. And we just had a fight and we just resolved it, and we thought we would come on and explain what we mean when we say our fights don't, we've resolved them quickly. Partially, sometimes it's because Shane needs something and it's a caregiving thing. Other times, this time, you'll see that it's always Shane, but it's just Shane ending the fight.
So this is an example of how we use humor purposefully to get the fight over with, to move on.
Yeah.
So let's explain the fight first.
Sure. So we were ordering food. This is my favorite part. Let's see what Shane's
I'll let
wrong.
you explain the fight, and then I'll explain
how you resolved it. So
how
anyway,
I was the...
Shane, shh. Anyway, so we were ordering food, and Shane was doing it on his laptop, and I was sitting here just like this. And we were putting in all the things, and my mom wanted this key lime coconut cake, and I also wanted that. So I was telling Shane, make sure you get 2 of those, all this stuff. So I'm watching him do it. He goes to the coconut cake, puts in the number 2, and then goes to add it.
Sorry, just that part over?
No, we're leaving this in.
No.
What?
All right, fine.
What?
Here, put your chin on my shoulder. This is sort of what it felt like as I was making the order, and this little sniveling voice was hey, how you doing? Hey.
It was sort of like my finger was also doing this.
You should have just done the order.
Yeah, well, I was just making sure. Remember when Shane ordered this giant thing of yeast? He's not great with online things. He doesn't see all of the...
Okay, yes, let's compromise here. I agree I'm very bad at online ordering.
Yeah, so I was supervising.
And you agree that you were micromanaging.
Yeah, because I wanted to make sure I got that cake.
All
It was
right,
very
perfect.
important to me.
So anyway, yeah.
And to my mom. So anyway, he goes and he adds 2 to the 2. He says the number 2. Then he goes to click add to cart. And at that very moment, he sees peanut butter pie on the menu on the side and goes, ooh, clicks off of the cake without adding it to the cart and goes into the peanut butter pie. And I was Shane, you didn't add it to the cart. And he got so angry.
As my mouse was moving back to as I knew instantly that I was oh, that didn't add the key lime pies. But when Hannah instantly was no, you didn't add the key lime pie, I turned to her and what did I say? I don't remember.
You would remember.
I don't remember.
You were just really mad. Rude. You were snippy, yeah. You were
I think I just said your name. I turned to her and I was Hannah.
It wasn't like that though. That wouldn't have been as bad.
Well,
you were Hannah, I'm doing it. It was something like that.
Something. I was
you were I know.
I was I got it. I know what I did.
But it was meaner than any voice you're doing. You were very annoyed. It was just your last straw.
Yeah, and so you were are you serious?
I was well, how am I supposed to know that you knew that? I was just checking. It's fine. And he was still a little bit annoyed about it. So I was I'm just going to go sit somewhere else. So I left. I went to the bedroom.
She went to the bedroom. So, a disagreement, a fight.
Yeah.
Whatever. I turned on a football game. I don't know what you did in there. Probably.
Just laid on the bed with Chloe.
Looked up ways to accelerate muscle wasting for people with muscular dystrophy.
Yeah, ways to block risdiplam medication from absorbing.
But we were apart for what was it?
5 minutes?
No.
It was 10?
I think it was
It was however long it took for the food to be ready.
It was like a half hour.
Wow.
It was actually like a half hour.
Okay.
Um,
I was on Zillow, so time flies.
and so I was sitting here and I was like, I shouldn't have snapped at her. And this is so dumb to have a fight about, because if we don't resolve it, Hannah's gonna come out here later and we're both gonna be like not wanting to give in and be like, sorry. So I can get my phone up.
This is also probably, a therapist would say that this is like an unhealthy way of avoiding saying sorry.
No, but okay, you know this, Hannah, but they should know that this was my sorry.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. If I accept the joke and like laugh at it, then it's my sorry. You know, it's our way of being like, the fight is over.
Yeah.
We're both sorry.
So in order to like kind of test the waters and see if like Hannah is
ready,
still mad or whatever, I shot her a text message.
Do you want to read it?
No, you can read it.
Okay. He writes to me, after you left, I accidentally deleted all the key lime coconut cakes and accidentally added 43 orders of extra tartar sauce in its place. Sad face. So that made me laugh, and I came out here and I said that was really funny. And then the fight was over, and we began talking about this.
Yep. So like you don't have to be like, I know that apologizing.
But for stuff like this, I'm sorry I snapped, it's just like meaningless.
You don't always have to be like, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Like me sending this text in Hannah's mind was enough that was like, Shane knows that he was being ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that the whole thing was just silly.
And that I acknowledged that I was micromanaging.
Which you were.
And I understand why you got annoyed. Still.
In fact, I don't think
it's your fault.
It was actually more you.
Anyway.
So there is an example. This has now been 7 minutes.
Wow.
This is a whole vlog on relationship success.
How we resolve our fights.
Do you have any other tips? We don't have examples to go with them.
No, but sometimes I think it is important to add that sometimes this same thing happens via caregiving, which helps our fights not last long. You know?
I have an example from last night.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I don't really give every single specific detail. Hannah and I were having a bit of a disagreement about my mood during the day. And I was essentially being a big butt for no reason, but not communicating why. And so we were just not on great terms. Nothing severe, but just a little cold to each other.
Well, cold to me.
I was being cold to Hannah, but then I
reciprocated.
Yeah, Hannah reciprocated.
Yeah.
So anyway, while we were watching Netflix last night, I suddenly had an urgent case of bowel movement. Like the hind that stretches and is like, oh, this is about to happen. It doesn't ever happen to me. Not often.
Like once a year, maybe.
No, I get stomach aches here and there, but not in a way that's like, I have to go now.
Yeah.
I've gotten really good at like holding it.
Yeah.
Like even if I'm having an upset stomach. So I was like, hey, we have to pause. I need to go to the bathroom. Pronto. So she got up and we did that. And we weren't like chatting, we weren't laughing. But when she put me on the toilet and I released, she began making jokes about how all of it was killing her. And it made me laugh so hard. And so I began making jokes and she began laughing at that.
Yeah.
And open the window, the house is burning down, things like that. Like, oh no, the window's open, the neighbors are gonna hear. It's just, and that is that only happens because of caregiving.
Yeah.
Like you were saying.
Yep. Otherwise we would have just stayed silent, stayed apart.
Yeah, in a non-interabled relationship.
And would never have joked about that.
How often do you have the chance to use your
partner's bathroom
well,
experience?
your proximity to each other during diarrhea? That's a bonus in our relationship.
Well,
for me. So anyway.
And last night we did talk about like the fight and what we could have done differently and stuff like that after.
We were in bed later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm not saying that none of our fights, you know, are like actually discussed. Like we talked about.
I'm only able to say now that it was because of me not communicating well, because later that night after the whole like laughing at my bathroom thing,
we went back to it.
We went back and we were like, okay, what was up? Like, why were you in a bad mood, Shane? Why didn't you just explain it better?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So. Yeah,
but like not all fights have to have that, you know, like the one where I'm micromanaging your order didn't need to be like laid out. It was just a funny text versus, you know, a whole day of being grumpy we talked about. So
man, we should be like relationship experts. If you're interested in relationship advice, write in to no, never mind. What was that column in like
Ask I don't know. Ask.
Do you remember Delilah?
Ask Angie or something?
Delilah on the radio?
No.
Delilah.
I think that was a Pennsylvania thing.
Love someone tonight.
Are you kidding?
No, it was what it was called. It was a call-in show where they would be like.
Was it Pennsylvania local?
I think it was like a syndicated thing. Delilah, maybe not. If it was only Pennsylvania, I'm gonna laugh. If you know Delilah, let me know. But it was a call-in show where Delilah would take calls from like lonely spouses who would be like, "Hi, like my wife is in Afghanistan serving, and she's been there for 11 years, and I am laying in bed with a big bowl of ice cream, and I've never been more upset in my life. Delilah, will you play a song that helps me?" And Delilah would be like, I know what you're feeling, like, that's very normal to be upset. Here is. And then play like a love song. I think. I might be misremembering.
Oh my god!
Or I think it would be like, you know, my husband's been like mad at me for a least, like, I don't know how to get him back. And she'd
It wasn't
like,
advice, it was just she'd play a song?
I think it might have been both. I think it was both. I don't remember.
I love it. We should do something like that.
Delilah.
Let's do a podcast where people ask us questions, but we like, I'm just confused as to why the song would be her response. Like, there must have been advice, or that's so...
It might have been advice and then ending it. Yeah. Maybe
so weird.
Maybe the advice wasn't, or the song wasn't the advice.
We'll do a podcast where people write in. I'll give advice and then you sing a song.
I tell you.
And that is your advice.
No, I just sing the Delilah song.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
Great. That'll be our new endeavor.
This is how we make our big bucks. Delilah, love someone tonight.